Ooh, okay. Um, am I live now? Yeah. Okay. So we're doing a social enterprise project for a little place in Winterfell, a little place in South Africa called Winterfell, and we were doing some research and we came across a video that you were in, and we did some more research and we found out that you seem like a aloe vera expert, so we thought we might come to you, talk to you a little bit, and see if we can find out more about this plant so we can hopefully sell it and create revenue for people in South Africa.
Oh, excellent. And I think that's a beautiful thing because it is one of those plants that helps people with so many things. It's what we call, it's
Yeah.
like a superfood, only it's like a superfood. It is the superfood of
Social
superfoods.
enterprise project for
Right.
yeah. Okay, so we just wanted to ask, like, what types of products would you recommend, like whether it be digested or I know there's like lotion that you can add like aloe vera, the aloe vera gel, and like what is commonly found to be popular to people that buy aloe vera products?
You know, that's probably what most people know aloe for, is its ability to help heal skin when it's damaged from sunburn or whatever the case is, or dry skin, psoriasis, and all kinds of skin conditions. People will take the plant and they'll fillet it and they'll put it on their skin and notice that things get well faster. So whether it's just aloe vera right from the plant, which is probably the best, but not as convenient, or aloe vera that's been maybe emulsified in some kind of lotion in an oil or something like that, which I actually kind of prefer myself because if you ever put aloe, the plant, if you ever put it on your skin, it kind of like dries and might even flake off, so to speak. But when it's emulsified in an oil, it seems to kind of stay moist and stay almost like locked in from that oil. We like coconut oil. We think is a good one. So that's the most common thing that it's used for. But just in the same way that people would use it on their skin, which is, let me go a little deeper into this. Let me give you a neat explanation here. Imagine, Hassan, that I was blowing up a balloon, and I'm holding this balloon here. And I took my fingers and I pushed them together like this, and they met in the middle. The trick question that I'll ask, and there's no right or wrong answer because it's confusing, is when I'm doing this to a balloon, are my fingers inside the balloon or outside of the balloon?
They're inside.
Yeah, sort of. But there's a barrier between my fingers and the actual inside of the balloon because the balloon is full of air, right? So
Yeah.
it's technically it's outside. Now, think of that balloon now representing your body, all right? And that my fingers are in this tube connecting one end to the other. Well, that's your digestive tract. And it's almost like your skin, which aloe vera is very good on, kind of folded through the inside of your body, connecting the front end of your body to the outside of to the other end of your body. Now, the neat thing about that is when you look at it and you say, when it comes to food, is it inside or outside of your body? When you eat it, technically it's in that tube, which is a barrier separating the inside of your body from the outside world. It's not until that food actually passes through that barrier called the digestive tract that it becomes part of who you are. Now, I'm going to tie this together with aloe vera in just a minute here. You see, we're talking about the skin, and we know that aloe vera works on the skin for helping it to regenerate or heal faster. The skin is something called epithelial tissue, and epithelial tissue both absorbs and excretes. Now, what that means is if you go to a doctor and you're older, you guys won't have this problem for years and hopefully never, but people, as they're getting older, that things like their hormones change. And doctors will actually give hormone therapy through the skin. They might give like a roll-on and they'll put it on and it'll get absorbed through their skin because the skin actually eats, it consumes, it absorbs. And in the same way, we know the skin excretes because we sweat and toxins come out. So there's always this exchange between the skin with the inside and outside of your body, things going in and out through your skin. Epithelial tissue is the kind of tissue that's responsible for that, and it's the same as the gut. The gut is also epithelial tissue. So when you eat something, it absorbs and excretes. It's a little bit more mucosa-like, where it's a little bit more absorption and excretion happening than in your skin. But just like aloe vera helps the skin to regenerate faster, it seems to do the same thing inside the gut, which is why so many people with all the digestive disorders, things like Crohn's disease or acid reflux or irritable bowel disease or irritable bowel syndrome, or there's like 50 different names for it.
Yeah.
So does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I get you. I get you.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, the benefits are the same whether you, I mean, I guess the way your body takes it would be the same as, like, if you put it on your skin or if you digest it. Is that what you're kind of getting at a little bit?
Yeah, it's people are using it for their skin or for digestive disorder seems to be the most common. Now, if I was to take that a step further, most people know that about 90% of their immune system resides in their gut. So if the gut is healthy, technically the immune system should be stronger. So people tend to also use aloe vera for immune properties. Now, it's more than just because it helps the gut to work more like it's supposed to and be healthy and stuff like that. There's also some research that shows that, you know, for instance, there's a nutrient called ace-mannan. There's some research that has been done that seems to demonstrate ace-mannan will cause the white blood cells, called the macrophages of your immune system, to secrete three important factors: tumor necrosis factor, interferons, and interleukins. Now, those are big words that essentially represent these chemical mediators that help the immune system to identify things like cancers and viruses. So from that perspective, not only from the gut healing, but there seems to be some, you know, some biochemical changes that signal the immune system and cause it to increase in certain areas. So people are drinking it not only for gut health, but also for immune system benefits. And then there's one other real common reason that people drink aloe vera, and I'm getting a little technical. I don't know if that's overload, but
this is really helpful.
Okay. In your diet, there's three main kind of nutrients. We call them macronutrients, and they're fats, proteins, and carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are things like simple sugars to, you know, multi-chain sugars, all the way up to very complex multi-chain sugar molecules. And, you know, if you have a spoonful of sugar, your blood sugar can jump up. If you have more complex carbohydrates that are, you know, all linked together and your body has to break them down, then your sugar probably isn't going to spike. You're probably not going to have as big of an insulin release, which means you might not have a crash. And if you have super complex, you know, carbohydrates, which is more what aloe vera is, it's what we call a mucopolysaccharide, which is a more complex form of carbohydrate. Your body can use up the energy from that. It's more like a time-released mechanism where, because it's such a complex, it's taking it off little by little. What that is shown to do is people that have diabetes, for instance, it will lower and stabilize their blood sugar levels. They're not likely to see the spikes and the crashes because of these super complex carbohydrate molecules that we call mucopolysaccharides. So those are the three big reasons that people seem to consume aloe vera. And, you know, right now there's not enough research to show exactly how and why these things work, but there seems to be enough clinical evidence where people have had enough results where they're saying, you know, I'm going to drink aloe vera for my gut health or for my immune system or for my blood sugar levels.
Okay. So we were talking just about like finding it in South Africa, and I was wondering if you knew if there was any difference, because I think you're located in Arizona, am I correct?
We're actually in South Florida in the United States.
Okay. All right.
And yeah,
my bad.
yeah. That's good. So, what time is it where you are?
It's 9/11 right now.
Okay. All right. Yeah, and it's okay. Just you're on the other side of the world.
Oh no, we're in Maryland.
You're in Maryland. Oh, okay. I thought because it was a South Africa project. Okay, good. So we're on the same time zone.
Yeah.
Not quite.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So we're doing, because we have our school has partnerships with like South Africa, and we have another partnership in Haiti. So we just decided to do something with that.
That
because
would explain why there's no accents.
Yep, no accent.
Yep.
I was expecting a South African accent, but you know.
Unfortunately, sorry.
The name just sounded really helpful.
Yeah. So we were just wondering, like, if you knew anything about where specifically it was found in South Africa, or
Like, what regions of the world
Yeah.
is it most commonly found in?
You know, it's interesting because I have a friend that's, you know, into doing missions work in South Africa, and he's planting he's teaching people to plant and cultivate things like aloe vera and moringa, which are like superfood plants. So where specifically he's doing his missions work and teaching people to plant and cultivate these things, I do not know. But it's definitely there. The interesting thing about it is there's hundreds of different, you know, aloe veras. Well, I shouldn't say aloe veras. I should say aloes. Aloe vera is one particular species. And within that species, well, I guess there are hundreds because there's a couple hundred different varieties of the aloe vera or the Barbadensis Miller species. Our company happens to use a variety called Stockton, which was named after or by Rodney Stockton, who studied aloe vera since the late 40s, early 50s when he actually started in business. Whether or not our particular species is being cultivated in South Africa, I don't know. And it's kind of hard to nail down a particular species, but it's probably over there.
do the variety, like, are the different types of aloe plants, are they seen to be like differently beneficial? Like, do they have
Is one more
Yeah.
beneficial than the other?
yeah.
Or
Yeah.
or-
From a species, Barbadensis Miller seems to be the king. Most of the aloe companies in the United States, and when I say aloe vera, I'm referring to true aloe or Barbadensis Miller. Now, most of the companies in the United States are growing manufacturing, are selling Barbadensis Miller aloe vera. There's really only one company that I know of that's using a different brand, or different species rather. And of course they claim it's the best, but I think most of the aloe companies would agree that they believe it's the best, but Barbadensis Miller clearly is. Yeah, now within the Barbadensis Miller aloe veras, there's many different varieties and there's many different processing methods. So there are some that are super hyper filtered, where they're kind of selling the water that was from the aloe vera plant. And then there's some on the more other extreme spectrum where they're really just selling the inner gel of the aloe vera. So as far as the benefits, they are going to be different from one brand to another. But to finally get around to answering your question, is one better than the other? You know, they seem to all get results or all have benefits. One of my favorite analogies is, I like pizza. I don't eat it that often because, well, it's gluten and gluten's inflammatory and there's reasons for it. But as a pizza lover, even bad pizza I still enjoy. It's kind of like, it's still kind of pretty good. Well, when it comes to aloe vera and people using it for, different medicinal reasons, it still seems to be helpful. It still seems to be beneficial from the lower brands to the upper brands, but some seem to be much more beneficial than others. So, hope that makes sense.
Yeah.
So we had come across like the aloe vera and the aloe ferox, I think that's what you call it. Ferox. It's Ferox. And we were just wondering if there's a difference between those two as far as how it benefits your body and digestion, consumer.
Specifically digestive.
Yeah, digestion.
I am not sure what the word is that you're saying, and so I'm looking it up. You're saying F as in Frank, EROX?
Yeah.
Yeah, I am not sure of that word as it relates to aloe vera. What is it?
We interviewed a friend in South Africa, and he told us that there wasn't a lot of aloe vera plants. He said that there were aloe ferox, whatever that word is. And we were like kind of taken aback. We had no idea what that meant. So we didn't know if that was like a different species of aloe. Like, is that like a...
Okay, whole leaf, and I'm taking a quick look because it might be just a brand name.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, I'm not familiar with it at all. Looking at the plant, there's a picture of a plant on the container, and the container says Aloe ferox, which seems to be a brand name. The plant does not look like a Barbadensis miller, so it might be a different species. But I'm not familiar with it at all. Now, interestingly enough, though, the things that they're listing on the website seem to be in line with, from digestion, says constipation, weight loss, which, interestingly, aloe vera, as it impacts the immune system, as the immune system increases, one of those effects is a faster metabolism, digestion, gastrointestinal, immune support. Liver and gallbladder might be emphasizing some kind of detoxification. Natural multivitamin, I would say not natural multivitamin, but I'll say more, food source of nutrients, because the phytonutrients from the aloe vera are so much important than the small list of vitamins and minerals that we look at a typical multivitamin. But yes, that pertains, and people talk about it as being anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial. Yeah. So it looks like they're promoting it for all the same reasons as Barbadensis miller, but I don't see Barbadensis miller on that site, so I don't think that is a variety of Barbadensis miller.
Yeah, I think I just looked it up really quickly, and apparently it's like a South African based aloe plant. So yeah.
But they have an entertaining testimonial on the front page. It says, I'm happy to say my stool sample results came back for the first time, clear of yeast and parasites, and my gut has never felt better. So it's interesting. It's fun, but testimonials from about aloe vera are quite entertaining. On my YouTube channel, I interviewed a woman. She was, I think, 88 years old at the time. And she is hysterical as you listen to her talk about, oh, you should see these beauties, and referring to her stools. And it's just very extremely entertaining testimonials that you get from people that are drinking aloe.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
Okay, well, from what it looks like, I don't think we have.
Would we have...
I think we've gone over. Do you have any? You guys have any questions?
Yeah. Well, our enterprise is obviously focused around the aloe plant, mainly for consumption, because of the health deficiencies that are common in the South African.
And I'm sorry, you're coming in muffled, so I'm not really able to hear what you're saying.
Sorry. Okay.
Very close. There you go.
That's better.
So our enterprise is more focused around the consumption of aloe vera because of the health deficiencies common in the South African region or in the communities. And he talked about digestive health and how it's good for the immune system and everything. Are there any other lesser known benefits that would help with maybe malnutrition? Like you said, there's a benefit in terms of blood sugar levels, which is good. So I was just wondering if there's like any way that it could be a little bit more pleasing to a customer in South Africa because of all the benefits. Like, well, I guess what I'm asking is there anything else, like any other benefits that we could possibly add to our list of?
You know, from a practical standpoint of what to grow, you know, I mean, there's huge benefits. Hydration is a key benefit. You know, which, you know, it's interesting because if you just hydrate the sick people, half of them will probably get well. Digestive health is related to so many other health problems, including skin health, because really they're like one and the same organ. So if you're having skin problems, you're probably having digestive problems. By the gut being related to the immune system, you know, literally that implies that it might help people with every condition known to mankind that the immune system is involved in. Which, what conditions is the immune system not involved in?
Yeah,
you know, when people are sick, as a physician, what we look at is what we call the 5 facets of health. Well, when I say we, I'm talking about more the more holistic type of practitioners, not necessarily medical oriented. But we look at people's nutrition, people's exercise, people's rest, their mental well-being, and how their nervous system is functioning, because the nervous system controls the whole body. And we look, you know, remove the nervous interference, whether it be through exercise or stretching or decompression or chiropractic or acupuncture. And, you know, these all tie together. Exercise is part of flexibility training, strength training, all the biochemical imbalances. Rest changes the chemistry in the body, affects how it works. Nutrition is probably that biggest one that, you know, that really affects the biochemical in the body. And certain foods are going to contribute to that more than anything else. Aloe vera being one of those superfoods. Now, from a practical standpoint, everybody should be growing food and contributing to the food supply. Aloe vera is one of those things. As long as it doesn't freeze, it continues to live. If you, it doesn't take much attention. If you don't have the water for it, it'll exist on its own, drinking the water from its own leaves for a long, long period of time. It's very easy to harvest and consume. It's very easy to propagate, to increase the number of plants you have, because you get these shoots coming up all over the place around it. In the case of providing hydration, if you need drink, if you process it properly, that is, if you separate the inner gel from the outer leaf, see, the outer leaf can be kind of an anti-nutrient, have a laxative effect. But if you fillet it properly, you can consume the inner gel, getting great hydration. To me, it's almost like, beyond being all of those super benefits for gut health and skin health, and, you know, from a survival standpoint, it's one of those things that everybody should have access to. Everyone should probably have it growing on their property if they have property, as long as it's not going to freeze.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's all kinds of benefits beyond gut, and potential benefit for diabetics, or, you know, or people that have immune system problems.
Okay. Oh.
Oh yeah. Okay. So I was talking to a couple of one of like the South Africans that came to our school and came to visit, and they were talking about how they like extract this gel. And we watched a YouTube video where I can't remember the guy's name, but he had cut the stalk off and then just, yeah, I think it was John. I don't remember his last name.
John Kohler. Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's a plug for John Kohler. GrowingYourGreens.com, I believe, takes you to his YouTube videos. And I had the pleasure of meeting him when he came and visited our home here in South Florida. And you know, I spent nearly the whole day with him. Fantastic guy, the real deal, and there's so much to learn from his YouTube channel. So yes, I know you're referring to that video.
Yeah, and so we saw that, and then this other guy was mentioning how he would boil it, And I wasn't sure if he was talking about the whole stock or he would break down the whole extract the gel. So I was wondering if there's like a more like the best way to do extract the gel in the most efficient way to where it's healthy and like so it's easily prepared. So I guess
Yes.
that's
The way that John Kohler demonstrated was perfect. It was maybe a little overkill, you know, as far as dunking the gel to get rid of all the anti-nutrients, because really the way he did it up to that point was so perfect and clean already. By double dunking it in the pictures that he did and just having that gel, it's going to be so clean, it probably won't even have any taste. It won't have any of the anti-nutrients from the outer leaf. So you can't really do any better than he did on that video.
okay.
Okay.
Awesome.
Oh, as far as the boiling it, you know, it's interesting. We could probably get into a debate almost on what's better, cooked things or raw things. You know, cooked vegetables or raw vegetables. But for the most part, most people would agree live, raw is best. And you know, the way he did it was perfect. It was raw, it was live, it was right off the plant, right there and then, freshly picked, fresh harvested. Can't do any better than that.
Do you have any like storage like methods that you could pass on to us? Like how would you store aloe vera, the gel after you extracted it from the actual plant? Do you have any methods that you could pass on to us?
On our YouTube channel, which is aloe.guru, the feature video right now talks about leaves and you know how you can remove them from the plant and how they deteriorate very, very slowly. When they're in the leaf, you know, the leaf does hold the gel for a good period of time, but it's at some point in time it really wouldn't be considered a live food anymore. It seems that fresh produce is the best, but there's really no such thing as fresh produce unless you're removing it from the vine or from the tree or from the plant yourself.
Yeah.
So for that reason, I think the second best would be you remove it from the plant and you fillet it and freeze either the fillets or you grind the fillets and freeze it that way.
Okay.
By doing that, you're kind of stabilizing it where it's at without having to cook it, which kills it, without having to add chemical preservatives, which, you know, if you think about it, what's the purpose of a preservative? Most people will say to make something last longer, but the real purpose of a preservative is to kill. They put things in the food to kill. Preservatives go in something to kill bacteria, yeast, mold, fungus. And when you consume that, you have to ask yourself, does the preservative know to stop killing? Because I have this delicate gut flora, and if it doesn't know to stop and it continues to kill in my gut, I'm concerned. So for that reason, I would say the best way to preserve a fresh juice, whether it's aloe or orange juice, if you wanted to keep it for a long period of time, you'd probably want to freeze it.
Yeah, how long do you have like a amount of time that you freeze it for? Or? Yeah.
You know, my comfort level is probably up to a year. I have consumed aloe that, you know, we found in the back of our freezer that has been a good year old and have not noticed any real difference in it, you know, it being in a nice sealed up container. But things change over time, even when they're frozen. So that's probably where my comfort level is. It's interesting because there was only one other company that was doing what we did, selling frozen aloe vera. And they're not in business anymore. So I guess I could feel okay talking about them without naming the company name. But I'll suggest that they stopped in 2014. And they were selling aloe vera that had been harvested in 2009. So it was almost 5 years old that they had kept it frozen, and they were still selling it. And apparently customers weren't complaining, but they aren't in business anymore. So maybe the customers did notice a difference. I don't know.
Okay. Yes. All right. Just want to thank you for spending your morning with us and giving us all the information we need.
It was really helpful.
This was incredibly helpful. We seriously appreciate this.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Hassan, Lizzie, Ali, thank you very much for talking with me. And if you guys have any other questions, you can even use the comments below this video, and I'll make sure that you guys have a link to the video, okay?
Great. Thank you very
you.
much.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye-bye.